Hey, what's up everybody? I created this motion design graphic that you're looking at right now in less than like 20 minutes using Claude Code. So I had to get in here and drop this video because I'm genuinely blown away by this new capability of creating motion design with Claude Code. So you can see this here. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. This is the full, 10-15 second design here. It started off with this initial terminal design that I then built out for a larger promotional video for my co-writer system. And the reason this is capable now is from this company here, Remotion, that dropped an agent skill for building out these motion designs in their studio. And if you're on X, then you probably saw this because it went super viral. I think yesterday, you can see it, they have 8.3 million views on their announcement video showing this motion design that they created themselves, to promote it. They created with this skill, with this tool. They released a little video showing how they did it, which is super confusing or super fast. It's not really good, so I'm gonna break that down for you today. And you could see a bunch of people here sharing the types of designs that they built. Be careful if you're on X though, because there's a lot of rage bait. There's a lot of people who post stuff that's not really designed with this. But nonetheless, it's incredible. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that today. So the first thing you're actually going to have to do is open up your terminal here, and you can see on the X announcement here, they gave us what to run here. So we're going to run this right here inside of your terminal. All right, and it's going to download the skill from the repository that we need to use here. So you're running this just in your regular terminal outside of any project as of right now. You're going to see you got this new Remotion best practices skill, best practices for Remotion video creation. And then you get to choose what agent. So we're using Claude Code. You're going to hit enter here. We're going to install this on the project scope, all right, instead of globally. And then we're going to use the recommended installation methods. All right, proceed with installation. Done, it now installed it. After you do that, you need to run a couple more things here. It's very simple, just follow. You're gonna run bun create video. Once you do that, it's gonna open up all these templates that Remotion gives us. Honestly, I don't know what some of these are. We have a Hello World starter template. We have recorder. We have, let's see, I don't know, a bunch of still images, audiogram, music visualization, stuff like this. I see one for TikTok as well, generate animated word-by-word captions. So I don't really, I haven't tried any of these out. I just use this blank canvas here. So it's just, a blank canvas, and you're gonna hit enter here. And now it's gonna tell you a directory to create your project. So this is the folder. You're gonna create a folder to run this project in. So for example, what I'm gonna do here is just call it motion design, right? And then once you do this, you're going to add the agent skills, and then this will fully set up the project here inside of that folder. And it's even going to ask to open it in VS Code. You should have VS Code installed for your co-writer or cursor, stuff like that. So we're going to open this in VS Code, and this is what it opens up. So I'm going to close these out here. And this is the Remotion project that's now opened up here inside of VS Code. You can see on the left, we have all the different packages and files that you need. So you're going to see here on the left that we have .agent, .claude, .cursor, .gemini, .opencode for whichever one you're using, I guess. And since I use Claude for my entire writing system and operating system here, I'm just going to delete these other ones that we don't want, like Cursor, Gemini, OpenCode. I'm going to delete those to clean it up. All right. And now we have our .claude file, which you should be familiar with if you build out, Claude systems here. We have our skills. Now it has the agent skill for Remotion best practices. All right. And then we also have everything else we need here to start creating the motion designs. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to show you inside of my own Claude folder and show you the whole process that I did to create those designs I showed you. And then I'll show you how to start, fresh and create your own. So we're going to first go over to my co-writing system. All right, and here we are. This is what my co-writing system looks like. And one of the things I have inside of my co-writing system is I have a deployments folder where I literally have my landing pages deployed online. So if we come here to Google, we have the co-writer system. This is the new motion design I put on my landing page. But, forget about that being there for a second. This is, my co-writing system landing page that I had with all of these different images and different graphics here. And what I wanted to do was create these designs for this landing page. So the first idea I had was to create this design that you're looking at right here and put it inside of my landing page, and you could see it worked perfectly here. So what we're gonna do is, let me come back over to my system here, and this is the prompt basically that I used. So I told Claude that I wanted to write me a very detailed prompt to create, a motion design for my landing page. And I pointed it to the path of my landing page. And what we did here was we created this big prompt, a realistic computer terminal window where a folder file structure types itself out line by line, that exact, design you were looking at. And I got this really detailed prompt here, all right? I took that prompt and we went over to our motion design project opened here that we just had downloaded, right, from Remotion. We downloaded the skill and I showed you everything here. So I came over to that and I started a new Claude session and I pasted this prompt, all right? Once I pasted this prompt, you can see that the Remotion skill, the agent here in Claude, started working on creating this animation. It put a bunch of to-dos, it completed all the to-dos, all right? And then I kept iterating and adding on to it like little things that I wanted. And this is what we came up with here. We came up with, at first, this design Claude created, and it launches this little studio on your web browser. So you could see the first thing I created was this terminal for my co-writer system, kind of just showing what's inside of it, claude.md file, agents and stuff like this. And then I kept iterating inside of that Claude session to finally get to this, where it was like a longer promotional video for the co-writer system, which I keep talking about it. If you don't know, it's a exclusive community training program and platform that I have. So I wanted to build out this full one, so I kept iterating on it. Now, to make this even easier for you to do, I went ahead and created a Claude skill that will help you create prompts like this. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're back here in that original motion design folder at the very beginning of the video that we set up in our terminal and set up this new folder. It's a completely fresh folder. And what we can do here is open up a new Claude session here. And before I show you how to use the skill for prompting, I want to just show you that you can also just simply, type out things and talk to it here. So for example, maybe I'm going to tell it, I want you to create a motion design of a terminal typing out the following. And then what I'm going to do is paste this sort of system that I have here in the terminal, or here, like basically what the sidebar of my co-writer system looks like. So I give it like the claude.md, Claude, and then really just my idea is to have a terminal type that out. I'm going to tell it that, and you're going to see Claude fire up now its skill, its Remotion skill, to create this design, and then we can see what that looks like. So it's going to read everything here, all of its different files. We're going to give it access to all of that. All right, and after Claude, analyzed everything here in its folder, it's now updating its to-do and telling us that it's going to create a terminal typing animation that displays the directory tree, and it's going to create a new composition file with the realistic terminal. So we're going to let that run for another minute and see what it comes up with. All right, now you can see after it took about 2 or 3 minutes, we let it run through everything. It finished up its design, and you can see it should automatically spin up its server, and we can now look at what this looks like. So let's go up. It automatically pulled this up, and now we have this motion design created just like that. So we're going to play it. You can see we told it this is exactly what we wanted. I mean, this is insane. Like, being able to create this is pretty incredible. So you could see it did everything perfectly, terminal, co-writer system, and it's going to loop here, all right? Now we can even do some crazier stuff. So I'm going to put this, let's say I'm going to put this side by side here with our what we're working in here. And what we can literally do is, let's see, so this is where we're working here. I'm going to literally tell it to, let's see, start off the video with, the text co-writer system by Alex McFarland, and then flow into this terminal. And then at the end, I want you to put the URL of my landing page and use my profile picture. All right. I'm just going to tell something like that just so I can show you how you can now start expanding this. So what I'm thinking is, like, at the beginning of this, I wanted to, like, just show that this is the co-writer system, co-writer system by Alex McFarland. And then what I'm going to do is literally come over here. And now on the left, you can see this folder here, public. You can literally put images or videos in here and then copy the path and put it here and tell Claude to include those in the design. So I'm going to grab a profile picture of myself and put it in there so it can put it into the design. All right, so we're going to come here into the public folder, and I copied a profile picture of myself. I'm going to paste it in there. So you can see now I have this profile pic. All right, and what we are going to do here is take just the path of that, copy the path, and give it to Claude. All right, I don't know how good this is going to come out. My instructions weren't the best, but you'll still be able to see the point of expanding this out, creating multiple frames, putting in your own images and assets. So we gave it to it. All right, it's going to say, what is the URL for your landing page? I forgot to give it that, so it's actually alexmcfarland.ai / co-writer system, right? All right. So we're going to submit that. All right, so it got the URL, it got the photo of us. And now let's see what it can do. We're going to let that run for another minute, and then we'll see the update here on the right. All right, so Claude just finished building that out. It took like a minute or so, and it automatically updates here in this little studio here to the right. So we could see it added in here. It's telling us it added in an intro, the terminal scene, and then the outro, right? And some extra files it created. And now we can click this play button and see what it looks like here. So now it has the co-writer system by Alex McFarland. We have the terminal that we had already before. This is so insane. I'm so blown away by this. And that doesn't happen too often, because most of the stuff you see on X is like a ton of hype. But now look at this. Now I'll put my image here and I put the URL. So yeah, like I was saying, most of the stuff you see on X is like total hype and BS, and it's, most of the time it's not really good. But this was, one time where it's actually pretty crazy. All right, so now we have that built out. But like I said, I also created a Claude skill that will help you create prompts. So let's try that out now. So we're going to open up a new instance of Claude here, and what I actually did was copy the skill already, and we're going to paste it here. So you can literally do this in like this original folder. Like I created that motion design folder all the way in the beginning. You can literally do it right here, or you can put this in your, current Claude system that you're running or whatever. But here we're going to go into .claude. We have the skills folder, which has the Remotion one. And now we are going to paste my own motion design prompting skill here. I put some references of example prompts that I found were that I've been using that were really good. And we have this skill here. Let me make it a little easier to read here. All right, and then we have this motion design prompt builder. So the purpose is to guide users through creating detailed motion design prompts that AI tools can actually execute. All right, we give it all sorts of reference materials in different phases to follow. All right. So now you can literally come to Claude and be like, Claude, I need your help coming up with a motion design prompt. Can you use your motion design prompt skill? And then the way I designed this skill was to kind of give you two options. Like if you already have an idea in your head, then you can provide that idea to it. Or if you need help, you can kind of work with Claude and it'll kind of help you come up with an idea, right? So we say, now I understand the format. Let me guide you through creating your motion design prompt. I'll help you create a detailed motion design prompt that AI tools can execute. Do you already have a concept in mind, or do you need help brainstorming ideas? All right, so now just off the top of my head, because I haven't really thought about this, but let's try to give an idea. We could say like, I have a rough idea of creating a motion design that shows basically a user typing in a query into a terminal, for example, like creating a LinkedIn post, and then it's showing agents being invoked to go create this content. That's kind of my rough idea. Of course, you're going to have some ideas for whatever it is you do, but just to show you how the skill will work here. So it's going to think, and it's going to tell you, what's this motion designed for, a landing page or hero animation, product demo. And you're going to keep going through because this is going to take like 10, 15 minutes, however long for you to kind of iterate with Claude. But in the end, you'll be able to come up with a prompt that looks just like the ones I showed you earlier that you can then just paste into this whatever motion design studio to create these really cool designs. Now, the last note I kind of want to say is that I've been messing with this for all day now and since last night actually when it was released. And the one main thing I can say is don't try to get super complicated with your designs here because, when you try to get super complicated, I was realizing it was kind of getting really messy. Things were not formatted correctly. Pieces were all over the place. It was just not good. So it's not at the point where you can create like these super high level, intense motion designs. You should really try to keep it simple. So for example, terminals like this work really good. Text on the screen, putting links and visuals like this work really well. So that's the main thing I would say to focus on right now. And then the last point I really wanted to leave you with was most of my work and all my videos and content, is all focused around co-writer system, right? It's like writing with AI, creating professional non-development, like writing workflows with Claude Code or AI. So when you see me doing motion design, you might not think that is on par with the stuff I'm doing, but something that's so important going into the future now in 2026 is that, whether you are somebody who's trying to use these systems to make money, for example, you're trying to ghostwrite or get marketing work for companies, or if you're like a startup founder, and you're strapped for resources and trying to carry out marketing by yourself, all of these just add on to your stack of skills that you have. So, it's not just about writing. Writing is the focus, but then you can build on top of that. Now we have we already have research that can go on top of that. We have image generation, video generation. Now we have motion design, we have sound. So when you add all of that together, it not only just supercharges your writing, but it just makes you more of an AI operator who's able to do all these different things, and it makes you so much more valuable for either, clients that might want to hire you on to do work, or for your own company if you're like a founder or something like that. So if you think about it, if you're trying to land, a new client and it's you who only knows how to use AI for writing versus somebody else who knows how to use it for writing, but also all these other marketing use cases like motion design and video and thumbnails and stuff like that, they're going to choose that other person every other time. So this is all stuff you should be learning. I talk about it all the time. I run several digital content businesses, successful businesses all by myself. And besides that, I ghostwrite for CEOs. I've ran content operations for startups. I have, news publications that I write for. And I do all of this by myself, and it includes not just writing, but thumbnail generation, video generation, marketing material, PDFs, now motion design, and I've never spent a penny on outside help, and I run all of this myself. So, take that, and definitely live by that and start out by using this motion design skill. I'm going to include all the resources below. Consider joining my Substack where the Claude skill will be if you need help prompting, and drop any comments if you've tried this out already.